Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's see how everybody is doing. We got all right. There we go. Buenos dias, Bruno. What's up, buddy? Hey, Tracy. Good morning. Good morning, Royale. A Royale with cheese. I always think of that scene. How we doing, John? I'm good, man. I'm good. Good morning, Zeke. How are you, my friend? Oh, right. It's afternoon for you guys. Good morning, nighttime in Australia. What part of Australia are you in right now? Welcome, welcome everybody. If this is your first time here in the live, that is fantastic. My name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics that service across the nation, all 50 states. I actually work with my medical practitioners. They prescribe. It's pretty cool, right? Because it allows me to focus on like the stuff that I want to focus on, me and the coaches implementing strategic lifestyle interventions. And then my practitioners get to focus on what they focus on, which is the prescription side of things, implementing and prescribing the GLP-1s, the powerful peptides, hormone therapy, peptide therapy, a lot of really cool tools that are pretty useful. They're pretty useful when you know how to use them. So that's a little bit about like us and the divide and conquer kind of deal. So good morning. So if you're on a GLP-1 medication, if you're currently struggling, let me know in the comments a little bit more about what you're going through. How much weight have you lost? Are you currently stalled? Has the results slowed down? And what sort of strategies are you implementing right now to fix that, to address that? Let's get into that sort of stuff. And while you guys are doing that, do me a big favor, introduce yourself. Let me know where you're watching from and what you've done, so far. Smash that like button and share this live out. Would appreciate that big time. And if you guys are curious, yes, magnesium is a good supplement, John. I would absolutely take magnesium. I would take it every single day. Trujillo, have you heard about being on a GLP-1 and getting anxiety attacks? I have heard some rumblings through the grapevine. Some people, that does happen to some people, although it's pretty rare. I would say that's pretty rare. If that's happening to you, then we would need to take a look at like hormones. We'd get an idea of what's going on with your hormones. That's what I would start. That's where I would start, Susanna, what do I do when my brain is completely no hungry? Yes. So how many of you guys are also struggling with, good morning, Carmen from New York. How many of you guys are also struggling with this situation where you're not hungry? You have no appetite. You're struggling to eat enough food. Let me know what you guys are currently, where you're at with appetite. Because if that's a problem, we definitely need to talk about that. Krisha on YouTube, tired of my love handles. Let's get rid of those love handles. Let's get rid of those love handles. I've lost 200 pounds on Monjaro, been on it for 3 years. Damn, kudos to you, RC. You lost 200 pounds. That's an entire human being. That's a large human being. Good job. Eric, should I keep focusing on gaining my upper body muscle to complement my skinny fat, or should I get rid of the fat with cardio? You don't want to do that. Actually, you want to build muscle mass. You want to maintain muscle, and you want to build muscle as much as you possibly can. Good morning, Al. You don't want to mess around with losing muscle. Losing muscle is like the worst thing you can do. Because not only do you get loose skin, not only are you not happy with how you look, which mentally can impact you, but it's not easy to rebuild muscle. And so because of that, you need to take advantage of the opportunity that you have to maintain muscle mass while you're on the GLP-1. Can you build muscle while you're taking GLP-1s? You can. Is it going to happen most of the time? No. But if you've never really lifted weights and you start like really getting into a program 3 to 4 days a week of solid resistance training, then you can totally do it. Hey, Adrian. I wish I could. You know, I applied to be a speaker there, right? Because of you. You actually told me to apply, and I thought that was a good idea. They did not choose me. But, no, that's not the reason why I'm not there. We're just knee deep in some projects right now, unfortunately. Otherwise, I totally would be there. Definitely let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear. Are you going? I'm assuming you're going. I'd love to hear from you how it went, who was there, who do I need to... yeah, I wish I was we weren't in the middle of what we're in the middle of. Probably next year I'll be a speaker, I would imagine. So I'll definitely be there next year. Good morning. Please notice this message. All right, Sheni, you got my attention. I was on tirzepatide and it was working, but decided to... What did you decide to do? You decided to do something else? Rob, my man Rob says that shirt is so flippin' smart. Yeah, I mean, you know what's crazy about TikTok, Rob, is you can't put phone numbers on the screen. You can't do that. They stop that stuff real fast. The TikTok AI moderators, you know, TikTok has these crazy algorithmic moderators, and they don't like phone numbers. It's a violation of their policies, but they can't read it when it's on your shirt. How do they go to build muscle while cutting the food noise back? So Chucky, generally you're going to do one or the other. Generally, you're going to focus on building muscle or losing fat, like one or the other. You're not going to prioritize both. What you are going to prioritize is maintaining muscle mass on your body. You're going to prioritize maintaining muscle on your body. That's what you're going to prioritize, okay? So bear with me here. Prioritize maintaining muscle. That is key. Now, the cool thing is, if you've never really lifted before, then you'll actually, believe it or not, you'll actually build muscle, especially in our program, because we help you optimize your hormones. Because you're optimizing your hormones, believe it or not, the flow fasting actually helps you optimize hormone pathways. So it works a lot better. Help me out. Week 14 on Monjaro. Miguel. All right, buddy. Why the suppression this week is higher than usual? I mean, that kind of stuff shifts. That kind of stuff changes. You know, the medication builds up over time. It's not going to be consistently consistent. You know, it's going to have some inconsistencies within a consistent trend, which is general appetite suppression. So that's just how it works. Guys, welcome everybody. If this is your first time here in the live, my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics that service across the nation, all 50 states. I work with my medical practitioners, and what we do specifically is we help patients achieve lasting weight loss with GLP-1 medications. Trey, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I own the clinic. I don't have partners. I run the coaching department. And I'm curious what programs you were showed. We definitely have multiple programs. And so shoot us a DM if you want to. I want to make sure that you were shown all the different programs. So I definitely want to make sure that you had a chance to see all programs. Good morning, Yanni. Hey, Oaks Ranch on Facebook. Welcome. So a lot of you guys are just kind of like joining us. So our approach is strategic lifestyle interventions combined with the GLP-1s, combined with peptides. If you have, good morning, Ania, and where do you buy peptides, Queen? If you shoot us a message, if you shoot us a text message, this number right here is the best way to reach out to our team. So it's a free consultation. They'll go over the program. They'll go over the prices with you, and then they'll let you know if it's a good fit. Trey, I have a feeling that you weren't shown all of our programs. So maybe shoot us a DM, and then we can figure out just to make sure like you were shown the best program. Zeke, my favorite peptide for PCOS would be AOD 9604 and Sloop 332. So the strategic combination of GLP-1 medications and peptides with lifestyle interventions in the background, this is why we're so successful, because nobody does this. Nobody has the understanding of how to put it all together. Whether you have PCOS, whether you have menopause, whether you have inflammation from autoimmune diseases. How many of you guys are struggling with like autoimmune diseases? You have inflammatory conditions, you're getting slow results, or you're getting no results. Let me know what you guys want to chat about. If you want me to talk about, hey, Yvette, good morning. Do you want me to talk about microdosing, how to achieve microdosing maintenance, or do you want me to talk about fixing slow results? Let me know what you guys prefer to get into. And again, this phone number right here, the 229 number, which you can see right here on YouTube, and then you can see it over there on TikTok, 229-441-3562. That's the best way to reach out to my team. So all you got to do is shoot them a text message, let them know that you want to get set up, free consultation, and let's crush it, guys. Let's make this, because you guys know what the deal is, right? It's November. These are the worst months of the year. Talk about backtracking your results. How do you make sure that you get successful weight loss results in November and December? I'm going to teach you guys that. I'm going to tell you guys how to do that. Michelle on YouTube. And by the way, if you guys aren't already following me on YouTube, We put out 2 videos every single week. We put out 2 videos every single week where I get into the deep concepts that we talk about here on my live. So weight loss stalls, slow results, hyper responders, microdosing, all of these things that I teach on my videos on TikTok and my lives. If you actually want to learn, if you want to do deep dives, I strongly recommend you get to my YouTube, and all you got to do is type in Dr. Jones DC. Type in Dr. Jones DC on my live, you type in Dr. Jones DC on YouTube, and you'll find my page. Make sure you follow, turn on the bell, because we put out 3 videos a week on peptides and GLP-1 science-backed strategies to help you be successful long term. So, all right. So we have Kanusha. What GLP-1 would be the best for somebody with sleep apnea? Tirzepatide. Out of your choices, there's really only 2. There's semaglutide, and then there's tirzepatide. And without a doubt, I would go with tirzepatide. The tried and true tirzepatide is going to be the best one to go with. Too many people are running into issues with retatrutide, and so there's not really a point to experiment with retatrutide when you can go with tirzepatide and have much better results if you're struggling with retatrutide. So, okay, so a lot of you guys are asking that we get into the conversation about slow results. So let's do that. Let's start the discussion, okay? Some people are running into appetite suppression issues with retatrutide. They're not getting the appetite suppression that they need. If you're not getting the appetite suppression that you need, you're going to struggle, right? That's going to be a problem. My favorite muscle group to work out is biceps. Now, do biceps do anything for me functionally? Not really. I just like big biceps. What can I say? Hello, Gray Basin. Welcome. So, yeah, see, Christine Johnson is sharing with you exactly clinically what I see every single day. If tirzepatide isn't working, using retatrutide as a solution to tirzepatide, that's not a smart path. It's not going to fix the problem, okay? It's not going to fix this problem. For some people, retatrutide is great. If retatrutide is working for you, that's fantastic. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just essentially letting you know, good luck, right? Like, good luck. It might not work for you. And if it doesn't, now you just waste all that money. Okay, so pay attention to what I'm going to go over next, because this is really important. What are the 4 main reasons why you are a slow responder to your GLP-1 medications? Why are you getting slow results? Why are you getting no results? You're busting your ass. You're putting in the work. You're taking the medication. Some of you are actually making lifestyle changes, and it's still not working. Okay, so number 1, cortisol. Cortisol is a huge roadblock for many of you. This is driven by stress, physical stress, mental stress. Usually for most people, the problem is mental stress. And the problem with excess stress in your body, you could also be getting high levels of stress because you're not sleeping good. So lack of quality sleep is also another stressor. This causes cortisol levels to rise, which will cause blood glucose levels to be more elevated, which will cause insulin levels to be elevated, which drives more insulin resistance, which drives more chronically elevated insulin levels. And so cortisol ends up just driving the insulin resistance problem, okay? That's what insulin does. That's what cortisol does. Now, the other issue is thyroid. If you have suboptimal thyroid function, if you have clinical hypothyroid, how many carbs do you recommend after a reset? 50 to 100 grams a day. I still don't want you on high carbs. Sorry, let me rephrase that. After the reset, that was during the reset. After the reset, I want you on keto. After you finish the metabolic reset, I want you to go keto. So under 50 grams of net carbs per day, and then you start the long form fasting. If you have a fatty liver, then you're going to want to pay attention to what we're talking about now, because I'm giving you the cheat code for fixing this. Everything we're talking about right now will help your liver too as well. Are there labs to help measure cortisol levels? There are, Susanna, but we don't order them. We don't order them because it doesn't tell you the big picture. If you want to have accurate cortisol measurement, you have to measure it 4 times in a single day. It's kind of a pain in the ass. You got to do saliva or urine, 4-point test. It's expensive. And honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't really tell you something that is like game-changing information, because the truth of the matter is the solution to balancing cortisol are things that you should be doing regardless. So I find that I just tell patients, look, it's expensive test. It's not going to change much. Here's the solution. Your health's going to benefit if you do these things anyways. Like getting some sunlight in the morning, like going to bed at the same time every night, blocking light in the evening hours, getting some sort of movement in the morning. Like these are the things that make a big difference. Roy Hernandez, I had bariatric surgery on Zepbound, 12.5 milligrams, doesn't seem to work as good. Yeah, I mean, this is the pattern, right? The pattern is you continue to increase your dose. You continue to increase your dose, and then it stops working, and then you increase it again, and then it stops working, and then you increase it again, and then before you know it, you're on the max dose. Before you realize it, you're on the freaking max dose, and it's not working. That's a problem. That's a problem. Especially if you still have more weight to lose. Especially if you're not at your goal weight. Especially if you're losing muscle mass and you feel like crap. You're tired, you're brain foggy, you're constipated, you're feeling cold, your body's achy. How do I feel about being on a GLP-1 for 30 years? I mean, the same way that I feel about being on any drugs for 30 years. It's not ideal. It's not optimal to be on medications for life. Sometimes, for your particular case, being on a medication is optimal. Of course, there are situations where being on a medication is optimal for you. So, but your goal should be to decrease dependency upon medications as much as you possibly can. Thank you, Leanna. And that's what we teach people. That's what we strive for, is medication independence. We strive to help people achieve medication independence. Now, to me, that doesn't mean complete independence from the medication. That means micro dosing. So what we help our patients accomplish is micro dosing maintenance. We fix their metabolic health so that they can maintain their weight on a microdose. That's what it's all about. What causes the cold feeling you have while taking the usual semaglutide? I've been doing ketovore since January of this year. HC moron. That's fantastic, man. How much weight have you lost? Phil Holland, why am I not losing weight? I cut my triple cheeseburgers down to doubles and only have whole cake 5 times a week instead of 7. And the cake is low fat. I don't know. That's a good one, man. You should be losing weight. If you're only having double cheeseburgers instead of triple cheeseburgers, and you're having a whole cake 5 times a week instead of 7 times a week, I don't know why you're losing weight, but you're not losing weight, man. Did you switch your cake up and you're having a more calorically dense cake now? That sounds pretty good. Cake every day. Damn. Southern Belle, I'm on compounded terzepatide, fourth injection. My scalp itches. So, yeah, that's an interesting scenario that seems to happen to people. There's a medical condition for it. There's a name. It's called allodynia. Allodynia is a skin condition, a weird sensation across the skin. I would talk to your prescriber. But you might need a medication reset. You might need a break from the medication. Hello, Chantel. I noticed my PCOS symptoms really vanish after taking B12. That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, Chantel, I couldn't advise right now. I mean, if you're working with us, we would look at your labs, we would set up a plan, and we would help you figure it out. Tesofensine, the guy Chato. Yeah, tesofensine's great, by the way. Tesofensine is another appetite suppressant, nootropic compound, brain lifter, brain optimizer. You can use it low doses stacked with your GLP-1 to get better appetite control, better craving control. Fia, I'm on retatrutide. I use 2.5, but 2 days before I have to use it again. I'm struggling. Yeah, I mean, I don't like retatrutide. Generally speaking, people should always start with tirzepatide. Retatrutide, for a lot of people, doesn't give good appetite suppression. And so, unfortunately, a lot of people are being sold retatrutide like that's the best place to start. But I can tell you that's not the best place to start. The best place to start is tirzepatide. Can you explain more about hypothyroidism? I mean, hypothyroidism is a medical condition which requires prescription of thyroid hormones. Your thyroid output is low. And if your that's your metabolism. If you have low thyroid hormone, every single cell in your body functions on 50% energy, 50% juice. Every single cell gets its energy from the mitochondria, but the mitochondria is activated by the hormones free T3, specifically the T3 hormone, free T3 to be specific. But yeah, for some people, retatrutide is fantastic. So if Reta is working for you, keep it going. Whatever works. But for a lot of people, retatrutide doesn't give appetite suppression. I mean, I coach thousands of patients. I see this stuff every single day. People were told to switch to retatrutide. Their results stalled, so they switched to Reta. And they feel way worse. They don't have any appetite control at all. So this is why I go from. This is why I lean on tirzepatide. Good morning. If you're not losing weight on tirzepatide, then that's an underlying problem. That's a problem that you need to figure out. Is it because you're insulin resistant? Is it because your inflammation is high? Is it because you have thyroid issues? Is it because your cortisol is high? Is it because your metabolism has down-regulated, right? Any one of these things could be a potential roadblock. Any one. Part of the key, yes, is establishing good metabolic health lifestyle strategies. You need to make some serious lifestyle change if you think you're going to be successful in the future. If you thought you were just going to take this medication and sit on your ass and not be serious and prioritize your weight loss, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. Now, I know some of you are taking this serious, but you just don't really have guidance. There's no guidance, there's no structure, there's no support. Nobody's really helping you. And that also sucks too as well. It's so what do you do? What supplements are best to take with tirzepatide? It doesn't really change. The same core supplements that I recommend to my non-GLP-1 patients are very similar. Your high-quality fish oil, your vitamin D, K2, D3, a good methylated B vitamin, fish oil, about 2 to 3 grams of high-quality fish oil to get your EPA and DHA essential fatty acids. Now, for GLP-1 patients, although I recommend a lot of non-GLP-1 patients as well, digestive support. So we have these really good digestive enzymes, and then a probiotic. Fasting is crucial. If you expect to fix your insulin resistance, if you want to fix your insulin resistance, you're going to have to fast. Can you do it without fasting? Sure. How much harder is it? Significantly. Yvette, thank you. Advice, as you said, I stalled because I wasn't eating enough. Once I fixed that, the weight is gone 70 pounds. Yvette lost 70 pounds following my advice. You are the best, Yvette. I'm super happy to hear that. What's the difference between retatrutide and tirzepatide? Retatrutide is the triple G. There's an additional receptor that's being activated. Can you fast when you're a type 2 diabetic? So look, yes, you can. Although I can't give you medical advice, you should always talk to your medical doctor before starting any sort of fasting program, especially as a diabetic. There's my disclaimer. But yes, just because you have diabetes doesn't mean you can't start a medically supervised fasting program. You can. You got to be careful. And then we got to talk about what kind of diabetes. Insulin dependent versus insulin independent diabetes are two different things with different considerations regarding a fasting program. Because when you think about what is diabetes is late stage insulin resistance. It is late stage. Your body literally has lost the ability to store carbohydrates. Your body cannot tolerate carbs anymore, so your blood sugar is high. That's what diabetes is. And so stop eating carbs. Eat less often. Eat more when you're eating, but eat protein and fat and fiber, which keep blood sugar down. Those are the two best. And then number 3, resistance train. Resistance train. I can't stress that enough. You gotta lift weights. You eat keto, you go on fasting regimens, but you eat enough in between your fasting windows. TZ, I'm doing great on Zepbound, down 30 pounds. When I research Sloop, it says, we get ours from a high quality 503A pharmacy. So ours would be doctor prescribed. I was up to 12.5 and I had to have surgery starting over. Starting over at the starter dose, that's a fantastic opportunity to approach dosing differently this time. That's what we do with our patients. Guys, if you just joined us here this morning, welcome. So my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics that service across the nation, all 50 states. Come on, buddy. Come on. What are you doing, buddy? Get off my bed. So we have a really cool approach towards doing this, right? My medical providers, they prescribe. So we do the GLP-1s, we do powerful fat loss peptides, anti-inflammatory peptides, healing peptides. And then me and my coaches, we are coaching strategic lifestyle interventions. So the goal is to fix your metabolic health. The goal is to fix your insulin resistance, to fix your inflammation. And then my goal ultimately at the end is to help you reduce your dose and maintain your weight loss on some sort of microdosing protocol. That's the name of the game. That's the ultimate goal here. Hey, Kelly has an appointment with us tomorrow. Super excited, Kelly. I would love to help you. This is what I do. This is what we do every day. So yes, keep us posted. And if you end up signing up, then I will see you on the first coaching call. What are the best anti-inflammatory peptides? Actually, let me get Jones's. Is it possible to maintain muscle mass on tirzepatide? It is, if you eat enough calories, if you eat enough protein, and if you train properly. So those are the three things. And then of course your testosterone levels, if they're not in the tank. If you have low testosterone, you're gonna lose muscle faster in a calorie deficit. But yeah, so those are the driving things. The best anti-inflammatory peptides, the best inflammatory stack. GLP-1, low dose naltrexone, BPC 157, KPV, and a carnivore diet. I just gave you guys the most powerful anti-inflammatory stack that I think is available on the planet. I don't think there's a more powerful anti-inflammatory stack. So let me say that again. GLP-1, your GLP-1 like tirzepatide, for example, plus low dose naltrexone if you have, like, especially if you have like an autoimmune inflammatory condition, any sort of autoimmune, but even if you have non-autoimmune inflammation and autoimmune diseases, non-autoimmune diseases like PCOS, menopause, BPC 157, KPV. Hey, hottie toddy. It's been a long time, brother. I haven't seen you in a minute. Let's see. BPC 157, KPV. Those are the best anti-inflammatory stacks that you can take. And then of course, nutritional wise, dietary wise, I like going carnivore when you have a lot of inflammation. Yes, we can help you with testosterone levels. Fit Raymond, we service all 50 states. If you guys want to get your hormones checked, if you want us to check your inflammation, your insulin resistance, we work with all 50 states, Quest Labs, LabCorp. Thank you, Hadi. I appreciate that. What do you mean by BBC? Do I like MOTS-C? Yes, I do, Zeke. I also like tesamorelin, samorelin. So MOTS-C is a powerful peptide for improving the mitochondria. That's why I think it's great. And then tesamorelin. Oh, you mean BPC 157? That's what you're asking me. Yeah, BPC 157 is a gut healing peptide. And then KPV is another gut healing anti-inflammatory peptide that also works really well with inflammation for autoimmune disease as well. Tesamorelin and samorelin, these are growth hormone peptides. Hey, Julie Clancy, I do have a lot of people that work with me from the UK. So you can join our program from the UK. You can join your coaching program. You can join our coaching program. But getting prescription of these things out there is obviously, I don't know how you guys do that. Yeah, so we work with high quality 503A pharmacies. We work with high quality 503A pharmacies. And so those peptides, those companies actually ship the peptides directly to your doorstep. Hotty Toddy, I want to make sure I remember I'm talking to the right person. Last name Forbes, first name Neil or Steve. I just want to make sure I'm talking to the right person. AR. I remember, dude. I remember your. I always feel like I have horrible short-term memory, but once it's in my long-term memory, it's like a steel cage. Like that stuff doesn't go anywhere. Oh, that's good. ARA is interesting. There's some interesting data about its ability for neuropathy. What are you trying to use it for? Like nerve healing is what it's supposed to be known for and special. Because there's not a lot of nerve regeneration peptides. BBC 157 has some interesting data behind it, but is there a peptide that helps mobilize fat? Yes. The AOD 9604 Sloop 332 is my favorite fat mobilizing peptides. Aaron Stevens, Tessa versus Samoralin versus CJC IPA. So the king is tesamorelin, but then tesamorelin costs more money, right? So tesamorelin is its own category for growth hormone. It's got its own price point, and then out of Samoralin, tesamorelin, like from us, it's the same price, and CJC is undoubtedly better. Like CJC IPA is just a better peptide to go with. Can tirzepatide stop working? Yes, it can. It happens all the time to millions of people that the medication stops working. And so in the trials, what they did for patients when it stopped working is they just continue to increase the dose. So that's what happens. You just increase your dose, just increase your dose, just increase your dose. But obviously, if you've been following me, you know that I advocate for using the lowest doses possible. I'm all about that, using the lowest doses possible. Yes, we like to order lab work. We do routine lab work. So it's a little different when you're a diabetic, John. When you're basically, no, it doesn't apply when you're talking about diabetes. So when you're a non-diabetic is what I'm talking about. When you're a diabetic, you don't even get to do lowest dose yet because you're correct. You got to manage your blood sugar first. So we're talking about weight loss use of GLP-1 meds. But if you were in my program, John, I would help you reverse your diabetes so that, yes, you could use the lowest dose for you, which is going to be higher as a diabetic. Like, diabetes is correctable. Like, you can fix diabetes. As much as doctors operate like it's a death sentence to most doctors because they don't know how to fix it. But if you go to the Diabetes Association website, it says right there on the website, criteria for diabetes reversal. So you can reverse your diabetes. It is possible. It's not this chronic irreversible disease. Just like obesity is not a chronic irreversible disease. For a lot of people, though, it is irreversible. Combination of they were dealt the worst scenario, genetically speaking. Also, they don't have the right tools. So when I say lowest dose possible, there is no generic recommendation. That's individualized. This is individualized care. You can't take standard recommendations because lowest dose for you might be 5 milligrams. Lowest dose for somebody else might be a microdose. Now, let me be clear, you're not going to microdose from the beginning of your journey. That's not how that works. You have to do regular dosing. Regular dosing is how you start this out when you're metabolically dysfunctional, right? You need to start with a regular dose. Dr. Richard Boss, I respect all opinions. I mention very multiple locations I'm a DC. So if to you a DC is not a real doctor, I respect your opinion. Yeah, that's cool. I never say that I'm a medical doctor. I say I'm a DC all the time. I have a medical team. So my medical team does the prescriptions and I do the coaching, just so you know. Happy to answer any actual questions you might have if you're here for learning and participation. DCs don't understand nutrition. Funny enough, and you guys tell me what you think, when you make generalizations about a group, it usually shows your own intelligence level and it usually shows your own IQ and prowess. Because if you really make generalizations about an entire group and you operate off of generalizations, I mean, it says a lot about your character. And funny enough, DCs have significantly more training in nutrition than MDs. So... Oh, my friend, Richard Boss. Oh, it's funny. Okay. That's so funny. Good morning, Julie. How are ya? Oh, I don't take any offense. I always find it funny to me. It's comical. It's comical. I'm curious if he has any legitimate questions. If he doesn't ask a real question, respect the doctor boy. Okay. Then you can mute him. Go ahead. He doesn't have any real questions. But I'll tell you guys right now, medical doctors, they don't get any, they literally get a handful of hours of nutrition training. That's a fact. So unless medical doctors do additional training, which I know a lot of them do, DCs get more nutritional training. That's a fact. So, oh, it's so funny. Thoughts on semaglutide versus retatrutide? I actually like tirzepatide, Nav. I like tirzepatide better than semaglutide, and I like tirzepatide better than retatrutide. Thoughts on bone health and GLP-1? Rapid weight loss can create demineralization of the bone. Weakening of the bones can happen from rapid weight loss. So GLP-1s can lead to rapid weight loss if you're not doing it correctly. So how many vertebral artery dissections? If you read the literature, it's like 1 out of close to 1 million cervical adjustments actually lead to vertebral artery dissections. Tell me, what are the statistics on pharmaceutical overdosing? Or tell me the statistics on pharmaceutical, any sort of overdose or any sort of medical complication that happens from that. That is to me, a significantly worse statistic than vertebral artery dissections. But, oh man. All right. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. We got a lot of MD trolls. Today's MD troll morning. These medical doctors. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, tirzepatide. You'll be much happier on tirzepatide. It does a better job. Oh, so funny. I just finished a round of GHK copper. How many rounds before you notice a big difference? It depends. I mean, I'd give it 6 months. I don't know or 3 months. I don't know what dose you're on. I don't know what dose you're on. What do you recommend for somebody with gastroparesis? Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be careful if you have gastroparesis. These medications do slow down the transit of food through the GI tract, so they could exacerbate or and make worse those conditions. So another reason why I always prefer the low dosing strategy, the low dose approach. It's just safer, Is this guy's literally making new accounts so he can come back into the live. He must have a lot of time on his hand. This is so interesting. I've never seen somebody make new accounts just to come back and try to harass. That's really funny. It takes a lot of effort for him to do that. I'm impressed. This guy's persistent. Thank you, Leanna. I appreciate that. So if I do low dosing, 5 milligrams, can I add peptides? Yeah. So the general approach that we do, guys, is we implement strategic fat mobilizing peptides like AOD 9604 or Sloop 332. It's strategic because the GLP-1s will cause a calorie deficit by suppressing your appetite. The AOD, the Sloop, increases fatty mobilization. So, and that's why we're you guys know the drill. If you've been following me for a while, fasting. So implementing strategic therapeutic fasting is the way to go. In fact, I'm putting out a video this week, finally, after much requests from you guys. I'm putting out a video about fasting and GLP-1 meds. So, and if you're not already following my YouTube, guys, go to YouTube, type in Dr. Jones DC. Do that right now, guys. I know there's 130 of you guys on TikTok. Make sure you're following me on YouTube. If you enjoy learning everything that I talk about on my lives, I talk about on YouTube. So you're definitely going to want to check it out. Go to YouTube, type in Dr. Jones DC, and give us a follow. Turn on that bell notification so that you know every time I go live. Thank you, Syria. Thank you, John. I hope the content is helpful to you. Can a person with gallstones use GLP-1s? Maybe or maybe not. It depends. Gallstones, biliary disease are initial contraindications. are potential contraindications. Sorry, excuse me. So you need a good medical review to make a final decision. I love fasting, but I get worried about the noise around it. That's where the peptides can help. The peptides make the fasting easier. May I ask a question? Sure. Go ahead, Sense. Go ahead and fire away. Awesome. Thank you, John. So guys, if you just joined us here, welcome. So my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics that service across the nation, all 50 states. I work with my medical practitioners. They prescribe and I coach, just so you guys know, that's the drill. My goal is to help you guys fix your metabolic health. Layla, did I miss Layla's pinned post? I apologize, Layla. I'm doing my best here. My moderator can go back and pin your question again. Just have patience with me, please. That's all I ask. And I'll do my best to get to your question. Now that kind of threw me off there a little bit. Let me just prioritize Layla's question. I got you, Layla. My only problem is I get cramps in my legs on the 7.5 no matter how I'm hydrated. No matter how hydrated I am. So what causes this? I mean, the first thing everybody thinks of is hydration. But when you say you're hydrated, are you getting enough electrolytes? Because hydration is really an electrolyte thing, not a water thing. In fact, when you drink excessive amounts of water and you don't get electrolytes, that's actually going to perpetuate the electrolyte deficiency. So a lot of people get confused with hydration and they think it means more water, but it means electrolytes. And usually electrolyte deficiencies wouldn't just be cramps, it would be headaches and tiredness. So headaches, tiredness, and cramps are like the triage. If you're just getting cramps and you're not getting any headaches, you're not getting any tiredness or just feeling off, then I would go to your doctor. I would go to your doctor and get that checked out. I don't have an answer for you. Yeah, I wish I did. I'm sorry. But there's many other medical conditions that could be leading to excessive cramps. And so I would go get that looked at right away. I wouldn't ignore that. So what I was saying earlier, guys, is the best way to reach out to me and my team. If you want to work with me directly, if you want to work in my small group coaching or large group coaching, the best way to reach out to me is 229-441-3562. 229-441-3562. All you got to do is shoot us a text message. Let them know that you want to get set up for a free consultation. Meet with one of my patient advocates and let them know what your goals are. Let them know that you want to, I don't know what your goals are. Let them know what your goals are. And what they're going to do is they're going to go over the programs, make a recommendation based off of your history, and then you guys can go over the prices and all that. Doctors prescribed Wegovy, but the pharmacist told me to go with Mounjaro. Yeah, I would go with Mounjaro. Mounjaro is better than Wegovy. If I wait to take my shot, I'm okay, the cramps go away. Then the cramps start after your medication. Well, I mean, that gives us a good idea. Then it's related to your medication. I'm not sure which one you're injecting. I'm not sure if you're getting pharmaceutical or if you're getting compounded. But if it's related to the GLP-1, then, my first thought is stop doing that. Yeah. That's a pretty interesting scenario. I haven't seen GLP-1 related cramps. Usually it's specific to dehydration. So I would look, if you were working with us, I would look at the big picture. I would look at your insulin. I would look at your inflammation. I would figure out if there's any other roadblocks to healing. Thoughts on split dosing, currently on 4 milligrams, still food noise, not hungry. Would somebody get a severe red painful spot? No, that's not normal. Talk to your doctor about that because that could get worse. Can you switch from Wegovy to Mounjaro? I don't know anything about availability in Canada, my friend. I apologize. I don't sell anything here on a TikTok live. No, I have clinics that service all 50 states. And so if you want to get a consultation and then have my medical team work with you and have peptides shipped to your doorstep, then yes, there's a link in my bio. Or you can just shoot us a text message right here, 229-441-3562. When you say, can you switch though, what do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. Yes, you can switch. I just don't know what you mean. Is Mounjaro more effective than Ozempic? Yes. It's well established as the better option. All right, guys, I'm going to hop off my live here. Again, if you guys didn't already grab the phone number here, 229-441-3562 is the best way to reach out to my team. If you guys want to learn more about the prices for the coaching packages, if you want to work with me, if you want my help, I'm here to help you. This week, I will be live every single morning. You can catch me every single morning, 8 a.m. Eastern. This week, I'm gonna be on a roll here and go for every day. I won't be on this evening. Maybe the afternoon if I have a cancellation, but I won't be on in the evening this week. Just mornings, possibly midday if I have some openings in my schedule. Make sure you're following me on YouTube, guys. We put out solid, and then also if you like Instagram, we put out some pretty cool reels and little bite-sized carousels that you can read the key points if you like the summaries. But YouTube is really the main platform where you will learn. That's the main platform where you will learn the most. So just go to YouTube, type in Dr. Jones DC, and you'll find my channel. All right, guys, how can you help with PCOS? Yes, we have a very high success rate with PCOS women, usually stacking the GLP-1 medication with a fat mobilizer and then getting them into some strategic lifestyle interventions. When you have PCOS, you have high insulin resistance. And so you need to target the insulin resistance if you're going to be successful. All right, guys, have a good day. We'll see everybody later.